Hello guys, and welcome back to a brand new video here on the channel. My name is James, and today we're going to go ahead and sit down and talk to you guys about the latest news in regards to Reading Football Club. Now, as always, the news is in regards to Reading's potential takeover. Today it isn't anything to do with actual takeover news, but there has been a statement released from the EFL. They've actually gone ahead and extended Reading's deadline to be able to sell the club until the 22nd of April. So that means that Mr. Young, or Die Young, now has until the 22nd of April to divest any interest in the club. So a little bit more positive. At least we've got a 2-week extension on the deadline that we did have. But to me, this statement is just full of absolute nonsense, especially towards the end from the EFL. And yeah, we'll go ahead and read the statement in full for you now. So it says, following a meeting of the EFL's board earlier today, the league can confirm that following a request from Reading FC, it has extended the time allowed for Mr. Die Young to divest his interest in the club until the 22nd of April, subject to compliance with all other EFL regulations. As stated previously, the league's priority is to progress a sale of the club at the earliest opportunity in order to end the current uncertainty surrounding its future for its staff, supporters and wider community. While Mr. Young is yet to divest his interests, as is required following his disqualification, discussions for him to do so remain active and ongoing. The board recognises that these matters are further complicated by the structure of assets held across different companies and various competing security interests, and therefore deemed it appropriate to allow more time for them to be resolved. In the meantime, the league will continue to monitor those discussions and the club's immediate cash flow requirements. The league has the power to suspend a club if a director fails to comply with the requirements of their disqualification. The terms of any suspension would be at the discretion of the board, and while suspended clubs are not permitted to fulfill league matches, they would continue to be a member of the league at that point. So there, I just want to point out a couple of things from the statement before I go ahead and read the last 2 paragraphs for you, because really, that's really what we should be interested in as Reading fans. The last 2 bits is just me maybe looking at the EFL as a little bit petty, and also they're not taking any sort of blame for what has happened to Reading over the last few years. Now, what I want to say is they have said that they recognise that there are further complicated, the matters are further complicated by the structure of assets held across different companies and various competing security interests. So obviously that is in discussions of Rob Cohig and him obviously having security over Reading at the moment. Now, there has been a proposal that was made forward to Rob Cohig. The rumour was it was around £12 million into an escrow account. That has been rejected by Mr. Cohig. He has rejected it based off the reasonings that there is no legally binding contract, or legally there's nothing there to say that this money won't be touched or that it is actually a real thing. So Cohig has rejected that. So look, let's be honest, the progression of a sale has been halted for the meantime. Look, Reading need these security insurances to be gone before a sale can be progressed. Obviously, Mr. Cohig is talking about how he still wants to own Reading Football Club. I can't lie to you, if he was to own the club at this point, I do think there'll be a bit of ill feeling towards him before even his ownership has taken place. There's ill feelings now. Look, I don't think he is the man to be shouting about. At the end of the day, Die Young is the man to be shouting at. But I don't think Mr. Cohig is totally in the clear. I do think he's partially to blame for what is happening at the moment, and I think that he's not to blame for what's happening, but I think that he has made matters a lot worse with the actions that he's displayed and the actions that he's doing right now, and unfortunately with what's taking place at the club. Now, the next bit I want to touch upon is the league mentioning that they have the power to suspend a club following disqualification. They've said obviously that the club aren't permitted to fulfill league matches, but they will continue to be a member of the league. Now look, for me, I don't think Reading will get to the point where they will be suspended from the league. I think that is just a threat, if I'm being completely honest. It would be a massive embarrassment to the EFL if Reading weren't able to fulfill their fixtures, especially because this takes Reading up to the point where there's only 2 matches left of the season. And if you're the EFL and you've got a club that are competing for the playoffs and for a promotion spot, you don't want that club to be suspended. It will be a massive national embarrassment, not just in the football world, but in the sports sphere itself. It will be massively embarrassing for the EFL to have that under their wing and to really have that as something that would be one of the major talking points of the season and one of the major talking points in sport in general of 2025. So I don't think that will be the case, if I'm being completely honest, but look, you never know, the threat is there. Now, in terms of the last part of the statement, I'm going to go ahead and read that out to you. Now, following recent comments in respect of the circumstances around the approval of Mr. Young's acquisition of the club in 2017, the league would like to reiterate that Mr. Young was not subject to a sports governing body disqualification, including the Premier League, at the time of the acquisition. The reason Mr. Young did not proceed with the purchase of Hull City was related to the involvement of a separate individual. This individual was not involved in the subsequent purchase of Reading, and in the absence of any disqualifying condition, alongside ample evidence of source and sufficiency of funding, the EFL was obligated to confirm that Mr. Young met the requirements of the regulations. They are essentially saying, we didn't do anything wrong, we wash our hands with any blame, it's nothing to do with the EFL, yes, we approved him, but it wasn't our fault at all. Absolutely ridiculous that they've gone ahead and said that. They just want to save face, and to me, the fact that that's even there at the bottom is embarrassing. It is massively embarrassing and an injustice to fans of Reading Football Club that they've gone ahead and put this. So when you hear fuck the EFL being sung around stadiums, it's right. It truly is correct. We need a separate governing body, essentially, to be able to approve these takeovers. It's coming soon, and the EFL will have less power on their hands when that does happen. And that's going to be it for this video today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. My name's been James. Hopefully we get a resolution to all of this soon. If not, I'm not sure what's going to happen to Reading Football Club, but look, fingers crossed something happens soon. We'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.